Hey guys, we've got a 2017 Polaris RZR 570 here. This is my dad's machine. He bought it new in 2017, so he's owned it ever since it was brand new. We have this front driver's side tire. The A-arm bushings are worn out. All the rest of them seem to be fine, so I'm not sure why just this one corner is bad. It's seen its fair share of boulders and kind of rough terrain, so I don't know if it took one hit that maybe cracked some of the bushings and got them started wearing, or what exactly happened, but it is what it is. This side's completely worn out. The rest of them seem to be tight, so we are going to replace the bushings on the whole front. We're just going to do, even though the right side is still tight right now, we're going to go ahead and replace them. The rears, we are not going to do those just yet. They seem good and tight, but we'll go ahead and lift this up here in a bit, and I can kind of show you what I'm talking about with these bushings. But yeah, 2017 RZR 570. It's been a great machine overall. I think we did have the front sway bar broke on us. We had to replace that a couple of years ago, but other than that, it's been a pretty good machine. Let's see how many miles are on it here. 2799, it's about 2,800 miles. This is the kit we're going to be putting in here. These are garage product bushings, which they say these are about the best you can get. So this is what we're going to be putting in. All right, we got the machine lifted up here. I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. So we got the A-arms here. We got the lower right here, upper right here. The lower are the ones that are really worn out. Not sure if you can see that or not. A lot of movement there. And then the upper, they're not as bad, but they're still worn out as well. So the bottoms are basically completely gone, I think. So yeah, we're gonna get those replaced. So it looks like this here bolt, we have to take those out, and that bolt goes all the way through this tube here. So in order to get this bolt out, looks like this front guard or shield is in the way, as well as the bumper right here. So we're going to start off with taking this bumper off, and then we're going to take this front fascia off here. I believe to get the bumper off, there's only 4 bolts. So there's these 2 right here. Those take a 13mm socket. And then there's 2 right here on the bottom. They take a 17mm. Okay, now that we have the bumper off, the next step is to take this front fascia off, and I believe we have to start off by taking this top cover off here. So you're going to want to take and turn these 2 knobs 90 degrees, and then it should pop right off of there. Okay, so after that, there's some torque screws here on the front. There's 4 there, and then 2 more down here, and there's also some push pins right over here. So to get these push pins out, they're kind of hard to get to, but I've found the best way is just a flathead screwdriver. So it might be a good idea to get a few extra of these push pins on hand because you about destroy them getting them out of there. Next thing is these torque screws here. These are T25. That was actually kind of loose. Okay, we've got a couple of light bulb wires to unhook here. Okay, so the next step here is we got to take this this bolt right here out, and it's going to take a 15mm socket. And a 15mm wrench on the nut back there. There's a washer there. Okay, so you have a few different parts here. This outer part is the plastic bushing, and then the inner part is there's a steel sleeve. Our kit that we got from Garage Products will replace both of those. I'm going to try to pull this plastic bushing out here. I might need a hammer, buddy. There we go. It's starting to come out.
That's really weird. It's real all sides of. Oh. Yeah, it's coming out.
Okay, so we have the bolt out here. So I took it outside and sprayed it with brake cleaner and kind of cleaned it up. So I think the bolt still looks good. A little bit wore on the threads where the edge of the bracket was riding there, but it's not too bad. So next, I'm going to take this and just try to run a paper towel through it just to kind of clean out some of the grease that's in there. I'm going to take the bolt and just kind of shove it through there. Okay, yep, that looks good and clean now. Okay, so we have the first set of these bushings here and a new steel sleeve. I'm going to get the grease gun and put a good layer of grease on this bolt, and then kind of just all over the outside of this sleeve and just kind of all over everything, get it coated with grease. Those greased up there, I'm going to slide this on.
Do you need your hand wash?
And then I'm going to put some grease on the outside of these too.
Oh, there's one part in the thing there.
Okay, now that I got this one all ready to go here, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the sleeve here. It's gonna be a pretty tight fit. Okay. Okay, the bottom one's ready to go, but I think I'm going to go ahead and take this top one apart now, because if I put the bottom one back in, I don't know that I'm going to be able to get this pulled out. Okay, so I've got this upper one kind of out of the bracket where it's supposed to go, but this strut is holding it down here to where it's going to make it hard to get this bushing out of there. So I'm just going to take this bolt out here on this lower strut mount, and I think that will give it enough play to make this a little easier here. And this is a 15mm socket as well on this. Okay, now that we have this upper A-arm loose here, I should be able to take and get these bushings out. Okay, next I'm going to take another set of these bushings and grease them up and get them put into here. Okay, so we have the new bushings and the metal sleeve installed in the upper and lower A-arm, so we should be ready to go back together. So I'm going to see if I can get this somewhat lined up here. Alright, got those in, so all I need to do is put the washer nut back on these two long bolts, and then I also need to get the lower strut mount put back on. I think I should be able to just lift straight up to do that. Okay, the sway arm link back on. Okay, so got everything put back together here. We've got the bolts put in, and I've got these nuts started down here and on the lower and upper A-arms. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten those up. I believe the torque spec is 40 foot-pounds, so I'm gonna use the impact to get them most of the way and then get the torque wrench out and snug them up. Okay, got the torque wrench set to 40 foot-pounds, so let's go ahead and snug these up. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll grease these up, get that full of grease. These sleeves on the upper and lower control arms. Yeah, grease those up, and this side should be done. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. I won't video that because it's just going to be a repeat of what we just did. Okay, so we got this side over here completed as well. One thing we did figure out is it helped quite a bit. We took this brake line right here out of this clamp. You pull down on the clamp and that brake line will slide out of there. And then this whole A-arm could pivot out into the open and get a lot better access. And then once we did that, we used this pipe clamp here to push the bushings and in, and that worked pretty good. So this side's all put back together, so all we have to do is put the front fascia back on and then the bumper, and we'll have it wrapped up.